Well, they say it's a sign of a good side when you don't play well and you win, but just how worrying have the recent performances for the Blades been? What is going on? That's our main topic of debate on this week's Where Blades Walk. Welcome back. We're also talking about Kiefer Moore and should he have given that penalty to others, and what's going on with the Bramall Lane Atmosphere. Our Plymouth fans said it was the worst away ground they've been to all season for Atmosphere. Is it flat, or is that just their opinion? We'll ask these guys what they think. Those are our topics for debate on here. We've got Dan, Shex, and Connor back with us. Also, we're working in partnership this week with besttirecentre.co.uk. We mentioned last week, come and put your business forward. If you're short on tyres or you need your tyres sorting out, go down and have a chat with these guys and tell us that Shax and the boys sent you from Where Blades Walk. Right, let's jump straight into it then, Dan. The Plymouth game, people were saying Sheffield United were lucky. Is that right?
I don't really think so. No, I think in terms of preparation, only having 1 day's preparation for Plymouth, getting off the coach Thursday morning. I think it's not helped with preparation. You could see that. I mean, from my seat in the crowd, I sit first row on the south stand, back behind the dugout, and there was a part of the game where Gus Amers asked for some chewing gum just to get some sugar off it for energy. And I think that shows you where the team's at in terms of bodies. And so not really. You can tell there was a lack of wanting to push forward, just happy to sit in and try and get a goal later on. It's dangerous, but I just think there's a lot of fatigue going through the team at the minute, and we need to try and get to January and get a few players in.
Absolutely. Let's look at some tweets. Nick says, we were so bad today. I've not seen other comments, but I was there. We were terrible. If you'd have asked us who was top of the table at home and who was bottom of the league away, you would have got it the wrong way around. We need backing in January or our good luck will run out. Alex says, we know we won, but that performance was incredibly concerning. Hopefully it's a one-off, but it's not been a one-off, has it? Because that West Brom result we talked about last week was a little bit dodgy as well, midweek as well. It's all the points are coming in, but Shax, are you worried at all?
No, I'm not worried. I think there's more than one way to win a football match, isn't there? You can win it by looking brilliant, and you can win it by looking like we're looking at minute, which I won't say is poor. I mean, that tweet, what you've just said, then we were shocking. Did they not go 28 games last season? If they thought that yesterday was shocking, God knows what they thought when we were 8-0 down at home to Newcastle. So no, it's not end of world. I think, like Dan just said, we played 3 times in 6 days, some tired legs, young lads. A lot of them's never done it before. I think Wilder touched on it, that I think we had 5-6 players either under 22 or under 23. A lot of them's never had that experience of playing championship football as rigorous as that schedule is. I mean, I don't know about other lads, but it seems like when we were in Premier League last season that you seem to be having 2-3 week breaks all the time. Like, I mean, you get that winter break, but you seem to have large gaps between fixtures, whereas now it's like every other day it seems like we're playing, and obviously that's telling on players' legs.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a 3-game week, isn't it? Connor Blade says, we've had so much luck in that Plymouth game. The performance was as bad as I've ever seen. Peck and Davis in midfield were like watching headless chicken. Sunday League players, awful. Jonathan says we robbed them. Plymouth were unlucky. And this was just a small sample of some of the comments online. Connor, this headless chickens, Davis, Peck, midfield, did you see that?
I mean, straight away, you know that we miss Sousa. Without Sousa in that midfield, that just his presence, his calmness, his physicality that he brings, he's one of the best in the league. So when we're not in the side, you're going to notice we're not going to be as good. Davis, I thought he came in and he still did well. Again, with Peck, he's still young, he's still learning every game by game. And for me, we weren't great, don't get me wrong, but people really just seem to be losing the plot over us not having a great performance, but still getting 3 points at the end of the day. I mean, West Brom, we had suspensions, we had both first team centre-backs missing. And then again, we're going into this game, we're missing Sousa, one of our key players. And we still had an L out. We've still gotten a lot of people. Like you said, we've had 3 games in 6 days, suspensions. Like I said, these young kids coming in that haven't experienced this before. There's so many different attributes that's happened in terms of these games. It's not something for me to worry about. Obviously, we need extra men in for January, but if we can keep going through this and just get through the few more weeks, I think things will start looking up.
Thanks for that, Connor. Dan, do you think there's an expectation from fans because you're playing Plymouth at home, and we know how awful Plymouth have been, and they went last time came to Sheffield, they conceded 4. So, do you think there's an expectation that you finally blew a team away, and it didn't come?
Yeah, I think that's always going to be there. You know, they turn up and expect us to win, and expect us to be easy. But as we've covered already, the squad's very, very young. We're top of the league. We're 3 points clear with a young squad, 2 academy boys on the bench at the weekend that have not played. That shows you where we are in terms of personnel. But it doesn't bother me. They can win 1-0 every week, win 2-0 by not playing great. And I still think we'll get through the Burnley, West Brom, Sunderland games and pick up results because the way that we organise, the way that we are to be, the way that we are to be broken down. So I'm not too worried. I think people want us to turn up and roll teams over 4 and 5 every week and think it's going to be easy. But the division is very, very tough. No matter who you're playing, week in, week out, there's a different result thrown up that you wouldn't expect. So I'm not concerned at all.
Absolutely, yeah. Away at West Brom, away at Millwall,
just
home to
on that.
Plymouth. 7 points. You can't complain, can you? Let's go on, Sheks.
No. Just on that, Leeds played Preston yesterday, and I watched a bit of that before our game, and Leeds looked brilliant, but they got a point. So, would you rather look brilliant and get a point, or look like we looked and get 3? So,
Totally agree.
It's one of them. Like, I dare say them Leeds fans have come away from that game thinking, you know what, we played right well. I'll look you with Preston to get a point. We've come away thought, you know what, we didn't play that well, but we got 3 points. And like I said to that Wednesday fan that time, it's not about attendances, it's not about how you look, it's just about that league table. And that league table now, it's not lying anymore. That we're in a territory now where it is where you are where you are on merit, and that's it. So regardless of what we look like, we won 2-0, we kept a clean sheet.
Yeah, nice for Paul Heckingbottom to do you a favour, hey lads, against Leeds. Yeah, let's talk about Kiefer Moore for a second, then, shall we? Obviously, he got his penalty against Plymouth. Connor, there were people saying you should have given that to Brewster. Do you agree?
I think at the end of the day, there's a designated penalty taker, and to save arguing, you see these daft situations like with Chelsea players not that long ago, they're arguing over a penalty, just makes them look a bit silly, and just to save any arguments, you have a designated penalty taker. If they're on the pitch, they take it, no questions asked. I understand some fans, what they're getting at, oh yeah, get him that confidence boost, keep his run going sort of thing. But at the end of the day, the last time we had him take a penalty for us, and I think it's been a couple of times with Brewster where he's gone up and then missed it. And as much as we want to build that confidence, you don't want to knock it back down straight after he just got his first goal in a couple of years.
Okay. Yeah, it should have been Brewster or Hamer, people are saying. Dan, what's your thoughts on this, saying that he played badly so didn't deserve the penalty, which seems odd.
No, I think that's nonsense. I think if he's confident enough to want to take it, his missed last one. I think it's always harder when you've missed one to step up again and take it. He's took it and scored. And I'm not too bothered about what people give it him. If you're 5-0 up, yeah, pass it on to keeper, pass it on to your left back. I'm not interested in that. I just put ball down, keeper, put it in, pass it in there. Don't give it to Ryan Brewster because 3 people on 3 rows behind want you to do that. It's put ball down, take it. I'm not bothered who scores it for me. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it was the right decision. He took it and he's put it away, and rest is history.
Yeah. Last week, Sheks, we commented on Brewster, and I think in some of our comments, people said you might have been too harsh. How's he been for you this week?
Yeah, well, he scored on Tuesday night. Like I said before, when I've said about Cooper, when he gets a man at match because we're a clean sheet, just like when strikers get man at match because they score a goal. I mean, honestly, Tuesday night, I don't think he did anything other than touch that ball into that net, which is fair enough. That's all strikers have got to do. Tyrese Campbell does it. And, them comments, like they use that word hate. The word hate, they use it too flippantly. I don't hate Ryan Brewster. You know what I mean? That's a silly word to use when they're using it. I just don't rate him. And there's a difference between hating somebody and not rating him. I think his stats tell you the reason why I don't rate him. He cost £23 million. Chuck his wages in, we're probably touching 30 million quid. So he's averaging £6 million a goal. Now, if you're happy with £6 million a goal, then you crack on and go and support Man City. But we're not in a position to fund. We're not in a position to fund deals and players like that. So for me, he scored Tuesday night, fair enough, but he's about 50 goals shy of getting off a hook, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. All right. Cheers for that, fellas. One last topic of debate then for today. The Bramall Lane Atmosphere came into question. This really came from a couple of Plymouth fans, more than one though, saying something like this. I'm usually all for the bites, but I'm genuinely disappointed with the Bramall Lane Atmosphere today. Hillsborough was far better. Top of the league and a basically guaranteed win against the bottom two. Previous visits have been excellent there. I've expected more. We'll come back to Dan's comment in a second. We've got a comment. 9 home wins in a row, 0 goals conceded since QPR back in August. It's now officially the hardest ground to play in for opposition teams in the whole of the EFL. Forget the Championship. So, why are the crowds feeling a little bit dead, Connor?
It's baffling, to be honest, because like they've got a point. There's not many games I can think of in recent history where Bramall Lane's rocking. I mean, I know obviously last season we were shocking, but I mean, off the top of my head, I can remember when Wilder came back with Middlesbrough, and the ground was absolutely bouncing that day. And other than that, in recent history, I can't think of a time where you turn up to Lane and it's bouncing. We've got noise. There's a small section, probably on Corp, maybe on South Stand, that'll sing. But it just seems like the rest of the stadium are just reluctant to join in with any sort of chanting. I mean, I sit near front at Cobb. Not many people do it near me, to be honest. It's all old-uns and pensioners and stuff like that. I don't know if it's weather or it's just a case of they expect us to win, so they're not that arse sort of thing. But for whatever reason, we seem to get near enough 30,000, just under, every game. And it's like these 5,000 people there. It's hard to put a finger on what it is exactly. Probably a cumulative sort of thing, a couple of things. But for whatever reason, we just don't seem to have any atmosphere. You wouldn't have thought we've just had 9 wins on bounce and 0 goals conceded. It's like it's complete opposite at the minute.
Yeah. To be fair, it is across football. This isn't just a unique conversation we're having with you guys. It is. We've had it with Sunderland. We had it with Wednesday fans already who are saying that Hillsborough's toxic at the moment when they're not winning. And Leeds themselves have discussed it. So this isn't unique to the Blades, but it is recognisable. Shacks, is it from previous seasons? How quiet it is.
Yeah, I think it. Me personally, there's loads of things they took away from football in the last few years. So cash on day. That's something that needs to come back straight away. Stop this. You need 500 loyalty points. A club needs to know your mother's maiden name before you can have a ticket. Forget all that. You've got loads of lads that might want to go to the pub on day and then decide to turn up to match. They've stopped all that now. You can't even buy a ticket on day, I don't think, anymore. If you can, you've got to queue halfway around car park. And like I said, you need ID. You need to have been to so many games before. That needs to stop. And then just things like I hear loads of people like the band for standing up and think, they're persistent standing up, and then they write complaints and things like that. Football's just gone a bit, I don't know, and that's why it's across board, because football, it's gone in like a funny sort of direction for me, and we need to go back to like 90s, 2000, when it were rocking, when you didn't have all these rules, and you had things like cash on day, you had things like you could stand up all game. You know what I mean? I'm not saying a standing stadium, but I'm saying when you used to stand up. I go to away games now, and you stood up, and you've got people saying to you, like, "Can you sit down, please?" Like, what? I'm at an away match. What do you mean? Can I sit down? And things like that. It just kills atmosphere. As soon as you start introducing things like that, like everybody, and they're shouting it on tannoy, "Can you all get in your seats?" It just kills atmosphere straight away. Just let people have a good time and a laugh, and then your atmosphere will come back.
Yeah. Dan, let's look at Dan's response. Dan says, our style of play is a crowd killer, unfortunately. It gets results, but going 1-0, then playing every man back every game ruins all enjoyment or excitement. We need to start killing teams off to get the excitement going again. And that ties into our previous chat before. You aren't you aren't battering teams, like many might expect you to being top of the league. So, has Dan got a point there that part of the atmosphere is because of the style of play you're watching?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. To an extent, I definitely agree. It does get boring when you go 1-0 up and then you're sat there. It's like against Plymouth, we go 1-0 up and then everyone just seems to like take the foot off the gas a bit, slow things down. They're happy to just keep it at 1-0. And
to be honest, I'm the other way. I just want to turn up. My last thought is what the crowd's going to be like. My first thought is let's get 3 points. I'm not bothered how we do it, and it is a results-driven business. And if we win 46 games 1-0 and we're bottom at league attendances or we're bottom at best supporters, I'm not really bothered. It's about, for me, going up. When you go to away games, atmosphere is terrific. In away end, it always is. But I just think, like Shaq said, we've lost. That's not going to come back now. The home support, the home crowds, it's not going to come back. West Brom, all they got were a drum. They made their crowd because they had a drum. There was a little bit of singing, but it's not hostile. Even at away games anymore, it's not hostile like it used to be. I don't buy into it. It don't bother me. My first thought on a Saturday or whatever day we play is, 3 points today. I'm not bothered how we play. Sitting all day, let them have up ball. For me, I'm not really bothered about that.
That's what league table is going to say at the end of the season, isn't it? It's going to tell you what results are. Like you said, like I said earlier, I don't care how many. If you took 9,000 fans to Preston away, or you played nicer football, or you completed more, or what's that XG thing? I don't care if your XG is 57 and ours is 0.1. I'm not bothered. We got 3 points and you got 1, so move on.
Yeah.
All right, let us know in the comments below what you think. Is there anything that can be done to improve the atmosphere at Bramall Lane? I've got to say, when I've been as an Everton fan, obviously it was a while ago. I didn't get to last season's, but I've always been, very impressed with how loud the stadium is. It's one of those really close stadiums, well kind of constructed for noise, isn't it? So when it is raucous, by goodness, the away fans and the away team know about it. Let's hope we can get that. Let's hope we can get that back. Right, Cardiff. Then let's have a quick chat about a trip to South Wales. It should be 3 points. This, Connor, shouldn't it?
Again, it's just another one of them games, in it. It's the team at the bottom end of the league. They're not doing well, and we're going to turn up, and it's going to be a same old thing of they're going to sit back, invite pressure on, and see if they can counter attack and get the 3 points from us. It's never as simple as it seems. Like we always say, every game, no game's easy in the Championship. But you would like to think that we can go there and get another 3 points and give us a nice little break before Christmas.
Yeah, last one before Christmas as well. Shaq, some people are saying this might be a bit of a banana skin given how recent performances are, but should be straightforward, shouldn't it?
It's Championship. They're all banana skins. All 46 games are banana skins, I think. So I fancy us to win there. It's not a foregone conclusion, but I think we'll win there. I think we've got a few players back from injury, back from suspension, a week's rest, which is a blessing at this moment, and I fancy us to win there 2 or 3-0.
Okay. Dan, is he going to... I don't say he can rest any players, but should he rest any players ahead of Burnley on Boxing Day?
Well, I think he come out in his interview after the game and said he's got himself to blame because he didn't make a few changes. I think potentially he could look at bringing fullbacks in, Shackleton, maybe McCallum, resting in those areas. But they've got, I think they've got Monday off, but they're doing the rest of the week. They've got 4 or 5 days to prepare for Cardiff, so it's a little bit different than having the one. You can rest a few players tomorrow, can't you? And then they're back in, and that's how it works. But I think you can take more risks. No disrespect, you can take a little bit more of a risk against Cardiff. But again, it's like any other game. It's difficult. It's potential, but it's a game that you can win.
Okay. All right. We shall leave that there then for this week. If you haven't yet followed us and haven't yet subscribed, please do so. We are really grateful for all your comments and all your support as we continue to grow this as a 20-minute Sheffield United weekly content. Next week we'll have a Burnley fan with us to look ahead to the big Boxing Day clash at Bramall Lane, which should be an absolute belter of a fixture. So join us for that one. Otherwise, have a great week. Enjoy your trip to Cardiff if you're heading down there. We'll see you in 7 days' time. Thanks for watching.